Okay, good morning. Today we're just going to talk about one concept. So I think it'll be a little simpler than maybe what we did yesterday. So yesterday we learned the rule for, writing a rule for a geometric sequence, and then we also learned how to find the sum of a finite geometric series. Today we're going to look at what do you do when it's infinite, when it's got like the dot, 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 or you know that it goes on forever and ever and ever. Okay, so I think I'll just kind of hop into the lesson here, hopefully, if that's okay. And hopefully it'll be smooth. So this is a really simple formula. So the sum of an infinite geometric series, it just has an S, is equal to the first term divided by 1 minus r. Now, provided that the absolute value of r is less than 1. If the absolute value of the ratio is bigger than 1, it has no sum. So this is only going to be infinite if your r, the absolute value of it, because it could be negative technically, but if it's less than 1. Okay, so if we look at just this one right here, so the r is going to be 5 over 25, so that's going to be 1/5. Okay, obviously, or you could do 0.2. So my sum of this is going to be my first term divided by 1 minus 1/5. So this is going to be 25 divided by 4/5, or 25 divided by 0.8. Like, obviously, however you want to think about that. And I'm getting 31.25, or you could, if you did do it like in a calculator that did, was good with fractions, you could have 125 over 4. So whichever one of these answers you come up with will be perfectly fine. All right, let's look at number 2. So the r is 1/4 divided by 1. So that is 1/4. So my sum is going to be 1 over 1 minus 1/4, which is 1 over 3/4, or 1 over 0.75. So this is going to end up being 4/3, or if you had a decimal, you could say that it's 1.3 repeating. All right, this one, the r is negative 1/3 divided by 1. So just be careful when you go to plug this in. So my sum is going to be 1 over 1 minus negative 1/3. You got to put the minus the negative. So it's going to end up being 1 over 4/3. And that's just going to be 3/4 or 0.75, depending on how you're working that out in your calculator. Okay, number 4, the r is 20 divided by negative 40. So that gives me negative 1/2. So again, my sum is equal to negative 40 divided by 1 minus negative 1/2. So it's going to be negative 40 divided by 3/2 when you add 1 plus 1/2. Oops, sorry. So negative 40 divided by 3/2 should give you, I have negative 80/3. Okay, now again, if you want to divide that out, or if you divided it out to begin with and got a decimal, you should be getting negative 26.6 repeating, one of those two. So how do you know if it's infinite? It's either A, it's going to tell you, or see all these dot, dot, dots. That's going to tell you it's infinite. Okay, if you're trying to, if you're working on a quiz or a worksheet. Now, I know sometimes when we go to this notation, people get confused and they think they have to write it all out. But if you look at this, it says find the sum of the infinite geometric series. And it starts at 1 and it goes to, that's the infinity sign. So all we need is the r, which is always in these parentheses right here, so 0.5, and we need the first term, which is always going to be, one thing you could do is you could just plug in to find that first term, or it says starting at 1. So it's kind of up to you, but what I usually do is I just take this number that's out in the front here, and that is your first term. So you can just write that down, and then all you have to do is plug it straight into the formula, 12 over 1 minus 0.5. So 12 divided by 0.5, this one would be 24. Okay, again, this goes up to infinity, so you know the r is inside the parentheses, and you know the a sub 1 is 3. So you plug it in, 3 divided by 1 minus 0.7, which is going to be 3 divided by 0.3, which is going to be 10. Okay, another thing they like to do with these, but this is actually pretty simple, I think. An infinite geometric series, they give you a sub 1 and s, what is the common ratio? So they want to know what is r. So you're just going to write out the formula. We know s is 12, and we know a sub 1 is 2, so we're going to do that. And then we're just going to put that over 1 and do some cross multiplication. So 12 times 1 minus r is equal to 2. So 12 minus 12r is equal to 2. Subtract your 12. So we get negative 12r is equal to negative 10, and then divide by negative 12. And my ratio is 5/6. Okay, just as a quick review, and we would probably go into more detail if I was in class, but if you have a repeating decimal and it has 2 digits repeating, like this one's 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, you just take that number and you can place that over 99 and reduce that. And so 3 goes into both of these, so you're going to end up with 4/33. Okay, now this one's a little different because it has the whole number out in front, so I'm going to write the whole number and then put the repeating part over 99. And I don't think anything goes into both of those because 37 is prime, so that's it. Okay, if you had 1 digit repeating, like a 4, then you're just going to take that 1 digit repeating and put it over 9. All right, if you had 3 digits repeating, then you would just take, you know, if you had like 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3, you're going to take that and you're going to put it over 999, and then you would reduce those. 3 actually goes into 123. So you would get 41/333. Okay, so just a quick reminder on how to quickly do those. Let me know if you have any questions.